Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy mackerel, do we have the audio back here again? Sound only is in. I'm sorry, I shouldn't touch it. Go ahead. What does GTG mean? Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we are back. Try to get caught up here. The Cochise Stars will be up, and this is the top of the 7th inning. B&L Rockets are out. Okay, everything looks semi-okay. Try to get caught up with where we are. The batter is number 4, and that is Gilbert Valenzuela. And this presumably is the top of the 7th, so that should be there. The first pitch is a ball. This one hit right up through the middle for a base hit. Try to see how many hits we have working here now. We have some action in the bullpen out in right field for the Cochise Stars. That's the 5th hit for the Stars, so they obviously had 4 hits through that inning. We'll try to pick up who is pitching. Runner is on and nobody out. Around to bunt is the batter, Robert Valenzuela. He is the catcher tonight, and he does exactly the right thing by pulling back the bat when it was not a strike. Next one fouled off over the screen and into the mezzanine. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're still tied up here in the top of the 7th inning. 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error for Cochise. And 2 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors for the B&L Rockets. Around to bunt once again, and again does a very smart thing by keeping the bat down and away when it was not a strike. The runner at first is Gilbert Valenzuela. And we'll try to pick up who is on the mound here in just a second. This one hit sharply to center field, but right there is Seth Nager and takes the line out to the outfield for the first out of the inning. The pitcher for B&L, well, we'll have to go and pick it up from the iScore here. Outside corner, Sean Hahn, the batter, started the evening batting .429, was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, and the on the ground ground out to the first baseman Graybosch, unassisted in the 5th inning. The runner goes, hit and run was on, and the ball is sliced into the stands on the right side. So a couple of strikes. Hahn finds himself in the hole right now. Lots of things going on tonight. I don't know. Is it a full moon? Was I cursed somewhere along the line? We'll try to get our act together here and try to give you as much as we can. That hits the umpire in the leg, and that is, well, let's see. Is everybody going to go back? The field umpire is John Gross. The ball was hit very sharply, and it caught him just below the knee, inside right leg. And in the game, the umpire is in play. So that will be, I'm going to assume, a fielder's choice. So runner on first base. And unfortunately for BNL, that was looking like it was going to be a double play ball. The umpire did his best to get out of the way, but he got hit squarely just below the right knee. This one fouled off and back. Alejandro Martinez is the batter. He grounded out to the pitcher in the second inning and grounded out to the third baseman in the fifth inning. So we've had nothing across all the way down the line as it's still 2-2. And one strike count here to Martinez, the first baseman. Runners on first and second, one out. Big swing and a miss. Alzia Gutierrez is still the pitcher. And a big swing and a miss, and that was a very important strikeout for the BNL Rockets as there was a runner in scoring position. It's all tied up here in the seventh inning, and we have had one misfortune after another. And for the few that are staying with us, thank you so very much. I'm terribly sorry for such an important game that we would be in this position. Outside corner called strike. Martin Cochise is the batter. We have two outs and runners on first and second in the top of the seventh inning, all tied up at 2-2. Runners go. Throw to third, and the third baseman drops the ball. Had the runner out by a mile. Sanders could not hang on to the ball. And the runners move up with stolen bases on a beautiful throw by Romero. And somehow or other, the ball just dribbled away from the third baseman, Sanders. 1-1 count, inside corner for a called strike, 1-2. So we'll see if they can survive this. Runners on scoring position, the pitch is swung on and missed. And they, fortunately for Cochise, or for the BNL Rockets, they get out of it. So the top of the seventh inning, and that will leave two runners in scoring position. And we will go to the bottom of the seventh, all tied up at 2-2. The Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and two-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on a 42-inch flat-screen TV. Many rooms have patio doors opening to the tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay, Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites. Well, once again, our massive apologies for the technical problems that we have been having tonight. Really amazing, one thing after another, and getting some tremendous help from a stepson up in Phoenix, Arizona, graciously taking time away from his family to lend a hand here. So let's see, that was the top of the seventh. We go to the bottom of the seventh. Let's check and see who is on the mound here, if we can come up with that. So concerned about the technical side of it, we haven't been keeping real close tabs on what's been happening on the field in front of us. All we know is that it's a 2-2 tie. Both of these teams, and Jimmy Norris is still in. And the batter here in the bottom of the seventh inning will be Preston Clifford. He is the extra hitter. And the first pitch to him is a ball. No activity in the bullpens, just barely missing the inside part of Clifford's tummy. 2-0. Rocks and fires, comes to the plate, misses inside, 3-0. Norris had a problem with finding the plate in the third inning, but fortunately rectified it and got out of the inning. This one a called strike. Can't tell you how many walks he has given up to this point because we have a lot of vacant space there. And again, apologies. Leadoff walk here in the bottom of the seventh inning. So that will bring up Ryan Graybosch, the first baseman, as there'll be a little discussion with Mr. Norris out there as to what the situation is at the moment. Out swinging a bat is Graybosch. Conference is over. Runner at first on a 5-pitch walk. So to our knowledge, that is at least the second walk given up by the pitcher, Jimmy Norris. No movement, a drag bunt attempt, and it's a foul ball. Preston Clifford thought it got away from the catcher, and he was bound and determined to make it to third base. If it was a sacrifice bunt, Graybosch did not get around in nearly enough time. Almost looked like a drag bunt there. Gilbert Valenzuela coaching over at third base. Hits sharply down the line. First baseman steps on the bag. Well, he didn't really have a choice. It was a fair ball. Alejandro Martinez, as there's going to be a discussion because Martinez kind of leaned across and grabbed the ball in foul territory. And let's see what they rule on this. As he caught the ball, it appeared that he was in foul territory, but he was laying across the bag. Not exactly sure. Well, Preston made it down to second because all Martinez could do was sprawl across the bag and get the out. First pitch is a ball. This is Tyler Whitshire. Whitshire popped out to the right fielder and popped out to the second baseman, so he's been consistently on the right side. One out and a runner in scoring position. We're all tied up at 2-2. To the plate. Off-speed pitch drops in there for a called strike. So Whitshire has a 1-1 count. The scheduled hitter is going to be Sanders, Logan Sanders, as we drop into the 8th spot in the order. 1-1, Whitshire fists it high. Coming back to take a look at it is Valenzuela, and it just barely makes it over the screen and straight down. So the count will go to 1-2. One ball and two strikes on the hitter, Wiltshire. Runner in scoring position. One out, bottom of the 7th. To the plate, hit sharply, center field. Gonzalez comes in and grabs it on a line out for the second out of the bottom of the 7th inning. And that will bring up Logan Sanders. Sanders, the third baseman, got a sacrifice RBI drive to center field in the second inning. That plated the first run. And then he lined out to the third baseman in the fifth inning. We are in the bottom of the seventh. Off-speed pitch catches that outside corner for a called strike. Jimmy Norris getting up there in pitches. He has 86 so far on the game. No activity in the Cochise bullpen. This one lifted high, left side. Castillas over there taking a look at it. Gets over and takes the pop-up for the third out. In the bottom of the seventh, nothing across. And we will go to the eighth inning, all tied up at 2-2. Firestone Complete Auto Care is your go-to tire store in the greater Tucson area. Find the right tires online or in the store. There are 5 locations. Pick the one closest to you in the 2400 block of North 1st, 3501 East Broadway, 290 West Wetmore Road, 4800 block of East Sunrise, or the 7950 location on East Speedway. Anywhere that you go for Firestone Complete Auto Care, you will not be disappointed. Well, bless you brave souls that have been in and out. This is, about the 10th or 11th game that we have done. And everything has worked with perfection. Not one single solitary problem has occurred. And yet tonight is the night, I guess. And it's unfortunate that in a game that is as important as this one, it's a little frustrating to have this all happen tonight. Okay, so a new pitcher in for BNL, and that will be Adam Moraga. Adam is a Sunnyside High School graduate. And as we've mentioned several times before, we're not the only ones that have electronic problems, as our scorekeeping system has been doing a fine job on a day-to-day basis, but for some reason it's not consolidating. This one slapped down towards third. Third baseman Sanders over to get it and throws the runner out at first base. The batter, by the way, was Andre Green. Green up for the third time, but we have no record of his second at-bat. So one out here in the top of the eighth inning. Moraga goes to an interesting school, the University of Science and Arts in Oklahoma. First pitch inside corner for a called strike. And that is in Chickasaw, Oklahoma. And I understand it's southwest of Oklahoma City in south central Oklahoma. Almost catches him on the chin there. 1 ball and 1 strike. So this is Marcus Mendez. So he struck out in the third inning. 1-1 pitch. Slaps it down towards third base. Once again, Sanders onto it and picks up the third out, or the second out of the inning. So somewhere along the line, Mendez also flew out, so he is 0 for 3 now. And that will bring up Derek Cavillo. Two outs in the top of the eighth inning, all knotted at 2-2 here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in a fight for second place, maybe first place in the Sun Belt League. First pitch fouled off, second pitch down in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. To the plate. Down low, misses. So we'll extend out the count to 3-1. Big swing and a miss. And with nobody on, we'll go 3-2 and 2 outs here. Adam Moraga coming into the ball game as the pitcher. Three-two pitch. Fouled back. So we'll go to pitch number 6 with the count remaining at 3-2. To the plate, 3-2. Fisted off to the first base side. It's foul. And Graybosch tried to get away with the same thing that Martinez did last inning, grabbing the ball and jumping on third. The ball, in this case, very distinctly outside of the bag. There was a discussion about Martinez's play, but it stayed with him. Slow roller down to third. Sanders with his third opportunity throws it away down left field, and that will put a runner on second base. Might have been a better idea to hang on to that ball. Now, I don't know if they're going to give him a hit or an error on that particular play, because it was a tough play for a third baseman, and they do chalk up the error. So on base with a two-base error, and sometimes discretion is the better part of valor, possibly needed to hang on to that ball. That will bring up Sergio Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz struck out in the first, got a base hit in the fourth. We have some defensive changes going on here as well. Called strike, knees outside. Next pitch, farther outside, so that won't be close enough to be considered a strike. 2-2, top of the 8th inning here. Runner in scoring position for the Cochise Stars. That one on that same outside corner and a called strike. So Santa Cruz is the extra hitter, and he is up there. This one stopped by Romero. Nice move by the young man to keep the ball out in front of him. They do have one extra inning that they will play in the Sun Belt League. Look back at second, another look back, and steps off, decides that possibly Derek Cavillo was taking some liberties out there, and Moraga decided he wanted to move him back. Pitch swung on and fouled back. 2-2, the count will remain. This one a high hopper towards the shortstop. Wiltshire grabs it and gets over to first base. And the BNL Rockets get out of the inning. Nothing across here. So at the end of 7.5 innings of play, it is still all tied up at 2-2. When you want really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chewy's Mesquite Broiler on East 22nd and Cobb. Chewy's knows what Southwestern tastes are all about, and they are there to satisfy. Chewy's on 22nd Street. Hey, they're open until 10 o'clock weeknights and Sundays, till 11 on Fridays, and until midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, decor, and drinks at Chewy's on East 22nd Street and Cobb. Well, bless your hearts for coming back over and over again tonight. If I had a reason for what went on, I would certainly share it. But it is a mystery to me Okay, so the top of the 7th inning, we have a total now of 6 hits. So they got 1 there for 5. And 1 there for 6. I'm not exactly sure whether that was a hit or an error. They put an E up. So we'll have to worry about that another lifetime. Bottom of the 8th inning, we're all tied up at 2-2. It's been that way since the 4th inning. The Cochise Stars drew first blood in the second, bottom of the 2nd. B&L scored 2. Then nothing in the 3rd. In the top of the 4th inning, the Stars scored 1, and that tied it up at 2-2, and we've been that way ever since. Still on the mound for the Cochise Stars will be number 7, and that is Richard Hegland. There is some activity in the B&L bullpen. Marco Osuna in the 9th spot and Tyson Coleman scheduled in the 10th spot. And then we'll go to the top of the order here in the bottom of the 8th inning. First pitch to Osuna, outside for a ball. Ball 2. Hedgeland graduated in 2015 from Buena High School out there in Cerro Vista. 2-0 count. Tries to lay one in there and does, in fact, accomplish that with a ball on the outside corner. Casillas at third. Valenzuela, Gilbert that is, at shortstop. Marcus Mendez at second. This one hit out towards Valenzuela, gets the big hop, and gets it over for the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning. At first base is Alejandro Martinez, and we'll check the outfield for you here in just a second. No pinch hitter as Tyson Coleman steps up. He started the game batting .333. Big swing on a pitch on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Simon Fishgold has moved into left field for the Cochise Stars. Inside corner at the knees, and Coleman finds himself in an 0-2 hole. To the plate, off speed, foul left side. Coleman goes to Cochise Community College. Graduated from Benson High School. A December baby. Well, I tell you what, that's tough to be born in December. You get all your presents within a week or so of each other, and then you have to wait the whole year. Oh, well. 0-2 way outside. Gets away from Robert Valenzuela behind the plate tonight. But nobody on, so obviously no advance. The Cazal Fire Protection Company here in force tonight. This is their night. And they're giving the manager, Brian Huey, a hard time there. This one he gets down and gets it into center field. So a waste pitch. Not meaning waist high, but I want to get rid of this pitch type pitch. And Coleman just reached down and lifted it into center field. So a base runner with 1 out. And we will go to the top of the order. Seth Nager is at bat. Seth has struck out twice and walked once. So he is up for the fourth time here in the bottom of the eighth inning. Move to first, nothing going on. Well, I tell you what, I really appreciate you being there. We have had quite a night technologically, and to have you hang in there like this is very, very rewarding. To the plate, misses outside. Valenzuela does a good job of moving his feet and keeping that ball in front of him. In a 2-2 tie here in the bottom of the eighth inning, these clubs are battling for second spot in the league lineup. They're both 6-3. And we'll have to take a check on the Aztecs. The runner goes. The pitch is down low. The throw to second base in time. He got there and slid off the bag, and that's how he got out. The ball was just a skosh late, but as Coleman went into the bag, he slid a little bit late and came off the bag, and that will erase the threat and make the second out. The pitch was a ball, and 2-0, and just like that, Richard Hegland gets out of a little bit of a jam. Really is aiming the ball right now rather than reaching back and just firing it. At the set, 3-0. And after erasing a base runner, he accomplishes putting another base runner on. But the difference, of course, is now there are 2 outs and the infield can be back. The scheduled hitter is Trey Mesa. And it is, in fact, Mr. Mesa. Little conference on the mound there until we get things squared away. The Aztecs are handling the Rincon Knights 8-0 in the top of the eighth inning. In the top of the sixth inning, it's the Tucson champs 7-5 over Team Tucson. So without regard to which of these two teams wins, all they'll do is break a tie for second place. Pitch down low for a ball. Trey Mesa is the hitter. Try to pick up what Trey did in his third at-bat. Move to first, kind of a halfway move over there, nothing too challenging. I'm not sure where the scorekeeper is getting what they're getting. Second pitch is a ball. They have a 10th hitter up there, Edwin Martinez, and that is not correct. So we're having all kinds of technical problems tonight. 2-0 count on Mesa, down low, on the knees for a called strike. On the mound is Richard Hegland. And he has a man on first with 2 outs in the bottom of the eighth inning, all knotted at 2-2. At the set, 2-1 the count. Missing, caught that outside corner for a called strike. Need to wait a few seconds. Should know that by now because Miguel Parra behind the plate has been the home plate umpire several times during our Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium games. All webcast, way outside, full count, 2 outs. That means that Nager from first base will be on his horse here. So any hit to the outfield If it's a single, more than likely he will be on third, and if it is anything more than a single, as the outfield, David Gonzalez in center is way deep. Right field, Sean Hahn is shallow. The runner goes. This is hit to right field. Hahn picks it up. He's got a strong arm, froze to third, but it is not in time. And so runners on first and third with a base hit by Trey Mesa with 2 outs, sending the runner Nager around to third base. And a 2-out threat here. Jesus Lopez is the hitter. Jesus Lopez has a base hit and a strikeout, and then he was up to bat during our dark time there, so unable to get some information on him on his third at-bat. We'll try to pick that up in a second. Key spot here. Inside for a ball. Robert Valenzuela gets over there and grabs a hold of it. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Bottom of the 8th inning. 2-2 tie. To the plate. This one hit into right center field, and that will break the tie. Moving around to third will be Trey Mesa. And once again, runners on first and third with 1 run in here. And the BNL Rockets go ahead by a count of 1. So a run-scoring base hit for Jesus Lopez. Kiko Romero will be up there. (3-2) now our score. First pitch misses for a ball, and that's something that Hedgeland has had a hard time with, getting that first pitch strike in. At the set, 1-0. This one fouled back to the screen, 1-1. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So a 2-out walk, a 2-out base hit, and a 2-out RBI base hit have put the BNL Rockets up by 1, 3-2. Big swing, almost screwed himself into the ground, but it is a strikeout, and it's the 3rd out of this inning. But not before 1 comes across for the BNL Rockets, and that will put the Cochise Stars on notice for the top of the 9th. They've got to get at least 1. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in equipment and uniforms for all sports. They also do printing for companies, and they also handle school uniforms as well. They have a full range of services, including silk screening, embroidery, heat press custom printing, banners, and a whole lot more. Elite Sporting Goods is over there on South Campbell at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web. Elite Sporting Goods. Want to mention very quickly that on the 4th of July, you need to be here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, because we have a spectacular fireworks show that will be following a 7-inning all-star baseball game. It all starts at 6:30 with gates opening at 5. There will be dollar hot dogs giveaways, a kids fun zone with games, music, and much more. All of this for just $4 plus. If you get advance tickets, you get free parking. Now, the advance tickets are available at Pizza Hut, Food City, and at the Cactus Bowl. So mark it down. Kino, Veterans Memorial Stadium, 4th of July. Gates open at 5. The game will start at 6:30. It'll only be 7 innings, so it should be an outstanding evening for all. The last couple of times that I've been here for the 4th of July, they've put 6,000 to 8,000 folks into the stands, so make sure you get here early so that you can get a fine seating location for the action that is coming up on the 4th of July at Kino, Veterans Memorial Stadium. New pitcher for BNL, Adam Belloc. Adam is from Vista Grande. So coming up for the Stars in their last-ditch effort here in the top of the 9th inning will be the center fielder, Daniel Gonzalez. Gilbert Valenzuela and Robert Valenzuela will follow. Outside corner for a called strike. Next pitch misses, 1-1. Two and one. This one fouled straight back. Two and two. The booth next to us has glass, and that came very close to taking out a window here. We're wide open, so if it comes our way, it's going to be duck and cover. Slowly hit out towards the shortstop. Wiltshire doesn't get it over to first. Oh, he does. And there is a little bit of consternation in the Cochise Stars dugout as John Gross, the field umpire, rings him up on a fine play turned in by the shortstop, Wiltshire. Very slowly hit ground ball. And, of course, Wiltshire was on the outer edge of the grass. Came in, grabbed it, and gunned it over to first. Got him by about a half a step, maybe even less. Gilbert Valenzuela has a couple of hits this evening. Got on a fielder's choice in the second inning. In the fourth inning, a base hit, but didn't get any farther than third base. And the same thing happened in the seventh inning, a base hit there, but was stranded at third. Breaking pitch misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. One ball, one strike. Nobody on, top of the ninth. This one fisted down toward the first baseman. Graybosch covers it and takes the out, the second out of the inning. And that will move Cochise Stars down to one last batter here. Robert Valenzuela. The Stars coming into the ball game tonight had a 5-game winning streak. Pitch outside. Not exactly sure what's happening with my scores from the outer area. Went to look at it, and I got scores from Northern California. They're not my favorites. Give me a break here. Okay, top of the sixth, Team Tucson 10-7 over Tucson champs. Pitch high and away. 2 balls, 2-0. The Aztecs comfortably ahead 13-0 in the top of the 8th inning. This one grounded foul outside third base, 2-1. So some thunder and lightning needs to happen here for the Cochise Stars if they are going to continue their 5-game winning streak. Right now they're down 3-2 after giving up a run in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch outside misses. 3-1 is the count. At the set, comes to the plate, fouled off to the right side. So 3-2. Looking ahead to Monday night schedule here in the stadium, it'll be the Rincon Knights and Old Pueblo Kings. Cochise Stars will take on Team Tucson, and Tucson champs against the Aztecs on the outer fields. This one hit slowly up the middle. Trey Mesa over to pick it up, gets it to first base, and that will end the ball game. 3 up and 3 down. Very quietly go the Cochise Stars here in the top of the 9th inning, and that will end it up by a score of 3-2 in favor of BNL. Looking at the line scores for the Stars, 2 runs, 6 hits, and an error, and somehow the BNL Rockets came away with a 3-2 victory despite giving up 4 errors. They did get 9 hits out of the ball game. So we do not have anything final on the outlying fields, but what does appear to be the situation will be the Cochise Stars dropping into 3rd spot, and the BNL Rockets move up to 2nd. The Aztecs with a comfortable 13-0 lead over the Rincon Knights, and they will presumably stay in 1st place and have their record 8-3. So that about wraps it up from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Had an opportunity to have a wonderful evening with all kinds of technical difficulties, and I certainly appreciate having you hang in there. Final score once again here from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium with a run in the bottom of the 8th inning. The BNL Rockets beat the Stars 3-2 in a game that was certainly worthy of a battle for 2nd spot. The only unworthiness about it might have been the 4 errors, but for the most part, they did not enter into any scoring. The scoring, first off, Cochise Stars in the top of the 2nd inning got 1 across on an outfield dropped fly ball, and then a throwing error by the pitcher. So yes, the errors for BNL did count in, especially in the 2nd inning. But in the bottom of the 2nd, BNL came up with a base hit and a hit batter, and then a sacrifice fly and a base hit to get the 2nd run around. And they were then up 2-1. Fast forward to the 4th inning, and with 2 outs, the wheels came off the wagon just a little bit as a fielder's choice and a throwing error by the 2nd baseman in a rundown. So errors did really make the day much more difficult for BNL. And they gave up 1 run in the top of the 4th, and that tied it up at 2-2. We had no action of any consequence except our audio problems in the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. But in the bottom of the 8th inning, BNL was able to open the inning with a walk, a base hit, and another base hit, brought the run around, and then finally a strikeout ended the inning. Actually, there were 2 outs, a ground out, a force out at 2nd base, then the walk. So the run scored with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that's how BNL came away with a 3-2 victory. Well, a very consequential evening, and I appreciate you staying with us up and down the line. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with the archiving of this. The other thing that we'd like to mention is that there have been some ongoing problems with YouTube from the standpoint that they have listened to some of the music in the background, and there's a company that flags that. And even though the Kino Sports Complex has paid all the royalties for all the music that they use, they blocked off 2 of our broadcasts now, not live, but when the archives, the one from June 3rd and the one from June 13th. They are available, however, if you need to go back and check them out. And that is by going to the Alan Scott channel, straight to the channel, rather than typing in Tucson Sunbelt Baseball, as we've been telling everybody up until now. So if you want to see any kind of archived activity, then all you need to do is to go to the Alan Scott channel. That's ALLEN, and Scott with 2 T's, and click on the channel, and then all of the games are there for viewing at your leisure. Well, that wraps it up from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. This is Alan Scott looking at the final line scores. The Cochise Stars, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. But the BNL Rockets came back with 3 runs, 9 hits, despite their 4 errors, and they come away with the victory. From Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, Alan Scott saying good night.